what do you think when you hear the word Oppa?
Aegyo.
Aegyo?
Too much aegyo. Too much of that cute.
오빠 왜 그래? 오빠 사주세요.
Oh my god. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Everybody, what is up? This is your boy Mike, aka MiKole, here with one of my best homies in the world. We got Alex Segrist in the house.
That's me. Yeah. Hey everyone. What's up?
What up, pal?
Hey Oppa.
Oh god. So, all right, so everybody knows, especially if they are really interested in South Korea, the language, whatever, they've definitely heard this word, Oppa. And I find this word so interesting for a few different reasons. One, because, you know, in English, we don't really have, like, I mean, it has a direct translation, but it doesn't have the same kind of like multiple, I mean, it has multiple nuances, right? It has multiple ways we can kind of like look at the word Oppa, but like, you know, really, I mean, what does it just translated as simply?
It is the older brother figure of a female.
Okay, so like the older brother figure of a female, which is not to be confused for the older brother figure of a male, which would be...
Technically, I could call you Hyung because you are born the year before me, even though you're not really a year older than me.
That's right, yes. So technically I would be Hyung.
Right.
Which I'm glad you don't call me Hyung. But I mean,
Oppa.
Oh god, don't call God. Oh god.
That's got a different connotation then.
That's a different, you said
오빠.
Then yeah, it's a completely different connotation. But here's what I find very interesting about this word Oppa.
Tell us.
Okay, so Oppa, you know, it has like, we all know that it means like older brother. We also know that sometimes people use Oppa differently, or Oppa, people want to be called Oppa for multiple reasons. Are you by chance called Oppa by anybody?
I have been called Oppa, but I don't have anyone in my life that really consistently calls me that. It's Alex.
How did you feel?
It's
Oppa.
It's funny and cute when it's a platonic female friend of mine. I think that's when it's funny and cute. As a foreigner, they don't really use it for foreigners that often.
They do not.
And I'm okay with that too. Am I allowed to be okay with that?
I think you can be okay with that.
Like, I'm not trying to be cultural elitist where it's like only Koreans can say that word. I don't mean that. If you're someone who calls your foreign friend Oppa, whatever, like, it's fine by me. It just doesn't feel right when they say it to Alex, like literally specifically me. I don't like it.
Yeah. Like, I know for me, like, I've been called Oppa like multiple times during my life, and you know, typically when you're like closer to like Koreans, like, or like you're within a certain group and whatever, and you have some knowledge of like the culture and whatever, and have some language, then they'll typically kind of like halfway kind of take you into that culture, right? And halfway, and then they'll give you these hoching, right? Or they'll give you this title of like Oppa, right? So I've been called like MiKole Oppa, but it's like, it was literally simply like MiKole Oppa. Like, it was just added on to my name. Right, which, you know, like Big Brother Michael, and it was when I was younger, because I used to go to Korean American church back when I was in high school. Obviously, most of the people there were Korean Americans,
right?
But one of my best buds, his younger sister will always call me Oppa, just because I always hung out with him, and she would call her brother Oppa because it's her brother. I was like her brother's best friend, so then she would also call me Oppa, like MiKole Oppa, right? And it was just natural. I
think it's all situational based. In Korea, if you're not coworkers, I should say, and a guy is a few years older than a female friend or something, if the guy's Korean, the female, like, contextually it makes sense to say Oppa. With foreigners, there has to be a little bit of that backstory. I feel like you were at a Korean church or something. But again, I don't know. It just feels weird when I hear it to my ears.
Yeah, it's almost like, not get away from using Oppa, but I've noticed like when you're foreign, they typically don't want to use certain titles with you. But I think that's probably like a whole nother conversation as to why Koreans like don't want to like fall into using certain titles for you. That's a whole nother conversation, whole nother like.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to be like polite to us, knowing that we don't. They've heard in school that we don't like to be called that, and that could just be a politeness thing. So I don't actually know. Okay,
so we talked about what is like the actual definition of Oppa, right? But we also know that it can also have some other kind of like nuance to it. I was like a whole nother nuance to it. And like, you know, my wife does not call me Oppa.
She calls him
My man.
I actually have no idea.
Or she'll be like, hey, you. like
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. But she typically would call me Yobo, right?
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and
sure.
Yobo is like, you know, Korean for like honey, kind of like sweetheart, whatever, right? So she calls me Yobo. Never call me Oppa. And I've even asked her, like, how come you never call me Oppa? She's like, I really don't like the feel of Oppa.
Game over.
Rose, she hates the idea of like Oppa
Yeah.
in that sense, right? But I do know a lot of guys really like it because then it has this whole like, I know it could be sexual. It could also just be very like how would you describe it? It's not like the woman is like dependent on the man, but it's somewhat like a like
Yeah.
Oppa.
So specifically, we're talking about the non-platonic, romantic side
right
of calling someone
Right.
Oppa, which is again older brother. It just means you would call your boyfriend or husband that who's older than you. And I think this is just me. This is as an American, not as a Korean who grew up with this culture.
as an American.
As an American, I feel like the reason some guys like it is it kind of keeps the hierarchy. It keeps their power in a relationship because it's when you call someone by a Korean name like Hyung, Oppa, Nuna, whatever it is, you or Ajashi or Ajuma or Imo, you're giving them authority because age is king.
Yeah.
And so I feel like when someone calls their boyfriend Oppa, the boyfriend likes it because that's right. I'm in charge. I'm the man of the house.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
feel as an American, if we use it, if
Uh-huh.
we were to use it in America, it would have a sexist tinge to it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's
People
weird.
start coming after you.
I have to be specific.
Yeah.
Like, again, Korean culture is not American culture. I'm saying this very much in that. However, knowing Korean culture, there are some men who want the power
Yes.
over their women.
Yes,
So
yes,
there are
yes.
some people who would use it and maybe, or like kind of get the wrong kind of feel from it.
Yeah.
So again, girls use it, guys hear it. A lot of times it's just very cute. It's very aegyo. And that's
Uh-huh.
why I said aegyo right away.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like sometimes it's like, you know, that's why guys here also won't date older usually. We want the balance of
Yeah.
something.
Which is really interesting because I've heard so many times that, and I know like just across the world, like it seemed like men typically would date younger, but like here it's like men just don't date older as much, and I think
It's a new trend.
it's a new
common.
trend. Yeah.
It's not common.
It's not common at all, and I find that men who date older are very open-minded
Right,
in their
yeah.
thinking as well, right? Because like if you go with this whole like conservative way that things have always been done, they
Yeah.
would always stick to younger. They get dependent. They're dependent upon, right? Or like, they're dependent upon someone else depends on them, so that he can be Oppa. He can feel like I'm Oppa.
Let me clarify this too. This exists in America as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you see some relationships where it feels like the power dynamics is the female counterpart looks at the male as more of a fatherly figure.
Yeah.
Bringing the bread home, making the money, taking care of the things, being the man of the house. So this is not an exclusively Korea thing. It just manifests itself in the word Oppa sometimes. Sometimes. Again, I want to be like, not everybody. This is not a normal, like, 50% or more, it's probably clean, good stuff.
Right. So we're not drawing generalizations here, but just bringing awareness that
About
it
to be
does
canceled in
exist.
2022.
Bam, canceled, baby. First and last video. So we do know that. All right. So we do know that Oppa can have different connotations and everything. Can it also be used as a tool?
It's an aegyo thing. It's a thing where if you want something from it and you just say something cute, Oppa, 왜 그래? Just buy me ice cream. It is a tool. I don't view it as a sinister tool. I mean, obviously there are sinister people in the world, but in general, it's used as just a cutesy way of it's getting what you want or just teasing. It's a playful teasing. So I think it has a very good purpose as well.
Yeah.
In a relationship of teasing.
Yeah.
So that I think it's nice.
Yeah. Aegyo in itself is its own topic, but I definitely know that a lot of guys do like the cutesy. I don't think you. I don't think you do.
If I get the aegyo, I'm okay if I play it back. Like if I throw it back at them.
You actually, but I know you actually do have aegyo about you.
I can pull it out.
So one thing I learned just living in Korea is that typically within a relationship, two people don't have tons of aegyo. Like the two people in the relationship, it's typically one has a lot and the other one don't have as much, or they kind of have like I would say complementary degrees of aegyo because
Sure, yeah.
Because I would say like Rusa, like Rose, she has
Very little.
but I have a lot.
Right.
That's just like who I am. Like I know for me, from Rose, like sometimes I'll even say things to her like
Nuna.
just to mess with her.
No.
Nuna, yeah, which is like big sister from a guy to an older woman, but she's not older than me. I'm like almost 2 years older than her. Old as crap,
Grandfather.
y'all. Old as dirt, right there. Old as dirt. And so like I'll say that to her, and I'll just kind of check for her reaction.
Oh yeah.
And then and you can kind of see like in the corner of her mouth right here, you see it trying to just like it's this whole Grinch style where it's just like, you're a mean one. And it kind of curl. That smile.
Yeah.
Got her.
Got him!
I like that. See, again, that's part of the teasing aspect of a relationship. You have to, personally, I think, there has to be some sort of level of comfort in the way you tease each other or make jokes. And so, again, aegyo or using Nuna, Oppa can be a great thing in a relationship.
I do think so. And I'd love to know, what do you guys think about the word Oppa? Do you actually get called Oppa if you're a guy? Or do you call somebody else Oppa? Or do you want to call somebody Oppa?
Do you want to be called Oppa? Do you want to be the Oppa?
Let us know in the comment box down below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want. Doesn't mean that we can get it to you, but we will try and comment back. And also, if you don't already, just want to help you understand that the person next to me, awesome person.
Oh, this side of you.
Yeah, right here.
Oh,
This
hey,
person right
hey,
here,
what's up?
very awesome person. If you do not follow Alex yet, please make sure that you subscribe to Alex. We got his link in the description, as well as most likely it's probably gonna pop above my head up here.
I can do aegyo for you.
He'll do aegyo for you.
Not in my videos.
Not his
I'll do it
videos.
on his videos. I don't care.
Make sure you like and subscribe for my content as well. But into the next video, you guys make sure you be cool. Peace.
Good.